David Price looking out, saying, what a play. Chris Sale thinking the same thing, and he had no idea how he was going to make that play on that one, and to hold on to it and still appear to be healthy.
Trout fouling off the first pitch.
And you're going to be aggressive. You don't have to think in terms of trying to work counts against Chris Sale. Averaged in 7 1/3 innings every time he takes the mound.
No balls, 2 strikes. Trout comes in batting .335, 18 home runs, 40 runs batted in. The 0-2. Of course, the most famous of plate appearances for Mike Trout against Chris Sale, the changeup. A 3-2 pitch. Trout hit to left center field here in this ballpark. That evens a count of 2-2.
Trout with pretty good numbers against Sale in his career, but that's the one pitch that might be difficult for Trout to make good contacts. That elevated 4-seam fastball.
And they'll go down chasing the breaking ball. Now they're saying it's a foul ball. Got a piece of it.
Able to foul off that slider in the dirt.
Two balls, 2 strikes. You mentioned the good numbers for Trout against Sale, 5 for 16. Tried to backdoor that slider, full count.
Remember that full count with the bases loaded a couple seasons ago. We threw him a 3-2 changeup grand slam for Trout versus Chris Sale.
And there's a walk. First base run of the game for the Angels comes on the 1-out base on balls. Check out the Red Sox on the defensive side. Benintendi in left, Bradley in center. Betts in right. You've got Holt, Bogarts, Pedroia, and Moreland around the infield from third to first. Leon behind the plate.
And Jackie Bradley Jr. We saw that play to start the game. Very good in the outfield, 3 outfield assists. His 2 errors this season. He's made a habit of making those outstanding plays up against the wall or over the wall throughout his career.
Albert takes a strike. Albert with a single and an RBI Wednesday night. 2,908 career hits now. Good lead for Trout at first. It's out toward right field. Betts moves over. 2 down.
Really good coverage when you think about it in the outfield here for the Red Sox. All 3 cover a ton of ground. Betts very good out in the right. A plus throwing arm himself. Bradley Jr. in center. Benintendi in left field. Very good coverage throughout for the Red Sox.
So 2 outs and a man at first, and it's C.J. Cron at the plate. Cron at 228, his 4th home run on Wednesday. Big blast out to left center field. One ball, 1 strike. Halos took 2 of 3 from Boston at Fenway Park earlier this year. They're bringing in the big guns this weekend. That was popped foul, out of play. It's how baseball evens things out. You get the Nationals in town and you escape Scherzer in Strasburg, but then on Friday night you get Sale, Saturday night Price. You get Rick Porcello on Sunday.
And we think about it, Chris Sale 5-0, 139 his career against the Angels. David Price 3-1 with an ERA under 2 himself. Rick Porcello, the reigning Cy Young Award winner, although the Angels have had some decent success against him swinging the bat.
Slider, and it's fouled back. Count remains at 1-2. Yeah, I looked at the splits for Sale too, as far as whether, as far as his overall numbers against the Angels, whether maybe he had an advantage here versus in Chicago. They're just good all the way around. Doesn't matter.
Yes.
6 starts, 6 games, 3 starts here at the Big A. ERA around 2, so I guess he was better in Chicago. 1-2 pitch. Call back.
I mean, you look at his fastball consistency, 92, 97 range. Very hard slider. Throws about 31% of that, and a very good changeup. Throws about 21% changeups. But his delivery is deception. You got arms, legs, glove, everything, hiding the baseball so well.
Cron takes a fastball for a called strike 3, and the Angels are done here at the bottom of the first. Not only did the Red Sox put some offense on the board at the top of the first, they flashed some leather. Jackie Bradley Jr. robbing Yunel Escobar.
That was an outstanding play. Eye on the baseball, the collision the wall, holds on to it. David Price, Chris Sale, liking that play.
Ricky Alaska threw 31 pitches in that first inning, gave up the 5 runs on 5 hits. Brock Holt, third baseman, batting in the number 9 spot, takes a strike. 6 for 33. This is just his 13th game this year. Dealt with the concussion issue last year, then earlier this year had a viral infection, and while dealing with that, ended up getting symptoms of vertigo. He's been dealing with that plus the lingering effects of concussion. That's why he hasn't played a whole lot at the major league level this year.
So it's an important player for the Red Sox. Can play a lot of different positions, brings energy, runs very well, puts the ball in play.
Who's the Atlanta Brave player? Dealt with vertigo. This is hit toward the middle. Pennington's there. For some reason,
his name's Nick.
Is it Esaski?
Yeah.
Nick Esaski?
Nick Esaski. Yes.
That's what I thought. Imagine how difficult that is. Yeah, NASCAR drivers talk about it. Hockey goalies talk about it.
Especially when you do all the traveling and boot, going up on planes and everything else. So difficult.
And Holt, when healthy, it's a nice player. Can bounce around the infield, the outfield. Red Sox hoping that he can help them down the stretch. As the top of the order bats, he led off the game. A little flared double. A shallow left center field. No balls, 2 strikes. Alaska did not face the Red Sox first time around at Fenway. This one's out towards center. Breaking ball, Hanneman out in front, 2 down. Benintendi lifts one out the left. Robinson was playing shallow. Velasco has himself a 1-2-3 second. 5-0 Boston as we head to the bottom of the inning. Being brought to you by Hyundai. There's no better time to buy a new Hyundai than now. See your local Hyundai dealer or visit buyhyundai.com. 5-0 Boston. They scored 5 times at the top of the first inning. Halo's got a man on the walk to Trout in the bottom of the first, but nothing else against Chris Sale. He'll face Simmons, Calhoun, and Maldonado in the second inning. But they will look at a strike. Simmons comes in batting .287, 23 doubles. A triple, 9 home runs, and 40 runs batted in.
One thing when you look at Chris Sale, his numbers versus his 4-seam fastball, this 172 batting average against him. But Andrelton Simmons this season versus a 4-seam fastball, very, very effective at 336. So a pretty good challenge for Andrelton Simmons versus Chris Sale. See those numbers, 171 versus his slider, sinker, 269. But the best chance you have really is against his changeup. It's a pretty good changeup at 282 with 3 home runs allowed. There's that 4-seam fastball right in on the hands of Andrelton Simmons. There's those numbers versus a 4-seamer. 336 with 3 home runs for Andrelton Simmons. Very difficult to get that barrel out on that fastball in on the hands.
Simmons shoots it foul. Down and in. That sharp slider.
A lot of times we'll throw that Mention that sharp slider down and in. Then I'll try the backdoor slider where you give up on it as a right-handed batter, thinking it's going to be off the outside corner. You can bring it back and catch the corner.
Little dribbler toward third base, and it'll go foul.
It's exactly the pattern. You look for certain patterns against Chris Sale. That's your best shot. He'll throw that down and in slider, then the backdoor slider.
Full count. Calhoun on deck. And it's a called strike 3. That pitch down in. Tom Hallion brings up Simmons, 1 out.
Yeah, that looked like that fastball was just off the inside corner. Tom Hallion, we talked about him like to ring up some hitters. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Neal did a nice job of keeping that glove and presentation for that pitch close enough to the strike zone to get that call from Tom Hallion.
Cole shoots one out toward left center field, slicing back toward Benintendi. 2 outs.
And my Hyundai key for this game for the Angels to be successful against Chris Sale and Sox. Lincoln Park, leave out all the rest. That means you're just centered in on one pitch against him. He's got 3+ pitches. Mentioned that fastball, slider, changeup. You just got to center in on one. You feel comfortable. That could be a changeup. It could be first pitch fastball. You have to have that plan throughout the game as a hitter against Sale.
Martin Maldonado at 242. 10 home runs, 28 runs batted in.
Well, as usual, Chris Sale does not waste any time. Right on the mound. So on the third base side of the pitching rubber throws across his body to create even more deception.
Mark Burley, School of Pitching.
That's why you see those great plays made behind you, like Jackie Bradley Jr. there in the first inning when you have a pitcher working that quickly.
1-2. Maldonado will go down swinging a 1-2-3 inning. For Chris Sale, picks up his 3rd strikeout. We're headed to the 3rd. It's 5-0 Boston. Trout, number 27 socks, courtesy of Micro Semi while supplies last. More information on those socks, just go to Angels.com. So the Halos return from this upcoming road trip, Cleveland and Toronto.
Be a good look for it, don't you think?
Yeah. Play the let's see, the Phillies, A's, and the Orioles. The next homestand, another 3-team stand, before going back out on the road for a 3-city odyssey: Seattle, DC, and Baltimore. Check swing foul. Pedroia, Moreland, and Ramirez here in the third for Boston.
That means we could probably wear those socks walking around town.
Oh yeah. Especially on the off days. You get 2 off days in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, with some shorts on, that'd be a great look.
You've been fond of wearing Crocs out on the road.
Yes.
The last couple of years.
Yes.
Q shot on the first base side. Velasco has it. 1 away.
First baseman, number 18, Mitch Moreland.
Moreland coming up. He had an RBI single in the first inning. It unraveled quickly for Ricky Nolasco. I said 5 hits earlier, 6 hits actually.
I mentioned very patient team, and when you fall behind in counts against the Red Sox, you're asking for trouble, and that's exactly what happened to Ricky Nolasco in the first inning.
Out to right, playable for Cole, has to come back in on it. 2 outs.
And when you look at the numbers of pitches they see per plate appearance and percentage of swing at the first pitch, they're averaging just under 4 pitches per plate appearance. It's 6th best in the majors, and only 19.9% of the time will they be swinging at the first pitch. So they have patience. They put the ball in play. They don't strike out a lot, even though they see a lot of pitches during the course of a bat. Pretty good talent in this lineup for the Red Sox, although hasn't hit quite as well as they anticipated this season, but still, we saw in the first inning, a dangerous club.
Chip off the old Chili block. Chili Davis, their hitting coach. We're going to get 1 pitch. Might be early in the count. Pull the trigger. Might be the only pitch you get in that count.
He was always a believer. Sit on a fastball. Could be the first pitch, could be the 3rd pitch, could be the 5th pitch, but sit on that fastball. Don't miss it.
2 balls, no strikes on Handley.
There's Chili.
1 former Angel, another Gary DiSarcina, the bench coach. Brought out the lineup card tonight.
That's why it took so long.
Yeah.
He didn't remember the dimensions here in this ballpark.
DiSar's one of those guys when he starts talking, he just keeps on going. He starts having fun.
Eddie really loves when we crush him as much as possible. Very fond of that.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Handley had a single and scored a run in the first inning.
He's at 4 for 8 now in his career versus Nolasco for Ramirez.
Breaking ball over 3rd. Nell's got it. 7 retired by Ricky Nolasco, but Boston has itself a 5-0 lead at the end of the bottom of the 3rd.
with Chris Sale, you got to go with Randy Johnson. That same arm slot, that nasty, wicked slider going down and in, but also able to go down and away. And you see Chris Sale, same type of slider. Looks like it's going to be in the strike zone, breaks down and in the right-hander, away against the left-hander. Very good slider with great deception, and it's a firm slider. Very comparable to Randy Johnson as far as the arm slot and the wicked slider.
Robinson, Pennington, and Escobar for the Angels here in the third inning. Shane 2 for 15 this year at the major league level with the Angels. No extra base hits. One ball, two strikes.
Cameron Maybin here today. Expected to be out anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks. Knee injury. Shane Robinson up because of Cameron Maybin being on the disabled list.
Shane goes down, swinging one down.
That four-seam fastball upstairs, fourth strikeout of the game now, 195 on the season for Chris Sale. Very difficult to bring your hands up and make contact just above the belt. Great life on that four-seam fastball. So often you're sitting there thinking, all right, I got to try to track that slider. That fastball, very impressive also.
Cliff Pennington hitting .243, starting second baseman tonight. Tables will use Pennington and Nick Franklin for the time being. Danny